Oh, what's up, dudes? Goes to show you I haven't been playing that much. How you doing? Where have you been? I've been right here. So, as some of you may have noticed, and actually some of you have emailed me and said, "You all right, bro?" And yeah, I'm fine. So it all started. I was going to do a video a couple of weeks ago, and I remember it was a Monday night, and so shit, there goes my pick. There it is. So I have a desk over here and a computer, so I'm sitting there and I'm hearing like a noise. I'm hearing like ping. You know, I was like, is that rain like pinging off the window? Is it like ice pinging off the window or rain hitting the casing? And I was like, what the hell is that? So I'm looking over. Of course, rather than look outside, I check the radar, and there's nothing on there. So I say, well, that's not it. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I hear it. Then I hear it again. And so I come over and I check the computer. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Nothing. It's not the computer. I thought maybe it was static. Sometimes it just goes like, you know, because the gate gets open or whatever. Nope, nothing like that. So I'm like, geez, you know, what the hell is this? So I'm checking and checking and checking, and then I really hear it going pretty strong. And I look over, and it's my goddamn sewer pipe, right? The waste pipe leaking. I'm like, no. We were doing a load of laundry, so luckily it was laundry water, which had a nice soapy smell. That could have been a million times worse. So we have these really tall, we get them from Costco, these dry cat food buckets that are really tall. I've used them for a bunch of things, but they're great water buckets because they're so tall, something splashes in the bottom, it doesn't splash out. So I shoved a friggin' water bucket under it, and I was like, wow, this is going to get worse before it gets better. So next morning, actually that same night I called my dad, and I was like, what do you think? He's like, well, I got a few errands in the morning, but I'll stop by. We'll take a look. So I dropped the kids off to school. I went straight to Home Depot. I picked up an abrasion wheel, and I could see underneath the night before that it was like an ant mound of rust on the bottom. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. But, you know not to touch it because you're just going to make it worse. Had to get everybody out of the house. People had to take showers, go to the bathroom, get all your water use done, and then it was quiet during the day. Take a look at it. So I went to Home Depot. I picked up like a water, what do they call it? Water weld patch kit, and an abrasion wheel for the end of my drill. And I put it on and I look underneath, and there's a lot of rust. I mean, there's not just that one area where it was leaking. There's rust all underneath it. Now this is, this house was built in 1930. This is original cast iron pipe. They tar it, but eventually, it wears out. So my buddy Jim, thank God, he calls out of the blue, and he's like, I'll come by and take a look. So while I'm waiting for him to come over, I put the abrasion wheel on, And I go underneath, and I'm like, let's get all the bad news like right now. So I went through and I ran the abrasion wheel over the whole bottom of the pipe, and it's just riddled with holes. All the rust it took out just left either a small hole, or the biggest hole was about the size of maybe a grape, and the smallest ones are like the size of peas. And there's at least a half dozen holes in the bottom. I'm like, this is not good. There's no way I'm going to be able to patch this. We've got to cut it out. So my buddy Jim was quite a handyman. He stops over. He's like, we are not patching this. He's like, we are cutting all this pipe out, and we are replacing the pipe. He's like, you're very lucky that it's not the pipe that's like going through your old stone foundation. He goes, and it looks to me like you've got some, because I did the abrasion wheel on the whole bottom of the pipe. He goes, and it looks pretty solid, a good 6 to 12 inches away from the leaded joint. So he said, we'll have enough room to get a rubber boot on it, and we'll put in PVC. So of course, you got to go to Home Depot, buy a bunch of PVC. We had to go back 16 feet. It was so rusted out. He's like, forget it. There's no way we're doing this. He goes, it gets solid, real solid about right here, but anything beyond this, he goes, you're crazy to leave it in. Because you're going to be back here again. That's not the worst part, though. The worst part is that it's like behind my music computer. It's behind, I have this big long bench here, an 8-foot long bench I built when I moved in. Of course, it's loaded with stuff. And so it's like I got to clear everything off, move it out into the middle of the floor, get everything away from the wall, pull this out. And of course, when you're pulling things out and you're acting quickly because, my buddy's like, look, I got today to do this and that's it. It's like, you got to get it done. So I'm like disconnecting everything very quickly just to move it all out, get it away. We can get in there with a Sawzall and get everything out. So, of course, we had one down that was pretty, one down tube that was pretty bad too, a smaller one. It's a 4-inch pipe. And the down tube is like, what, a 3-inch or a 2-inch pipe? I think it's a 2-inch. So, picked up the cement and the primer, and it comes in a nice little kit. All the tubes we needed, a couple of spare ones, and we used them too, because you make a mistake, you're like, oh shit, and you don't have to drive all the way back to Home Depot for a 95-cent goddamn coupler. So we, and again, when I say we, I mean mostly my buddy Jim, who I gotta say was pretty awesome. We cut out all the old stuff. And the great thing about cast iron pipe is it's so friggin' brittle, and it's so rusted that you cut it out rather than having to haul this heavy stuff out. You just take a sledgehammer. My dad's like, we're going to sledgehammer this and smash it all up. We just sledgehammered it, smashed it all out. It comes down into pieces, and then put a wheelbarrow out right at the window here. There's a window right behind here. Open the window up, and then just toss the pieces right in the wheelbarrow. It worked out great. And put the PVC in, got to get the boots on just right, they're leaking, and all stuff. So it was like an all-day friggin' project. Took about 4 hours, 5 hours of actual work, and then I started at like 9. We didn't really cut out the pipe until about 1. It's a lot of looking at it and standing around and strategizing, and finally we finished up around about 5 o'clock, and I took Jim out for some dinner. And I had my mom pick the kids up at school and take them back to her house, because I said, they're going to get here and you're going to tell them 1,000 times, don't flush the toilet. And they're going to go flush the friggin' toilet, and we're going to be going mental. So you can't bring the kids over. So luckily my mom came and took the kids and brought them over to her house. So anyway, that was a couple of weeks ago. But, I had everything out. Everything's a giant mess. And it just took me forever to get everything back in. Then I'm like, well, since it's out, let's clean it all up and get it going. And that's exactly what I did. Running Guitar Rig 5. And I haven't really been playing guitar at all, because, just one thing after another. I got busy with a little bit of work, and, we had the Pinewood Derby. Now, we won the Pinewood Derby a couple of months ago, back in January. We won the pack one, first place, number one, baby. But because we did so well, we got to go to the regionals to represent the pack for the regional. So we go to the regional. 28 cars are racing in our age group, and the top 4 cars take home trophies. We came in 5th. I mean, like thousandths of a second separated 4th from 5th. What are you gonna do? Just the way the car rolled that day, you know. And of course, I'm going, geez, I should have lubed it more. It's like, you know, what are you gonna do? It's just the way, you know. And you know, my son was a little bummed. I said, let's go buy an archery set, and that'd be so much cooler, because it was at Outdoor World in Foxborough at Patriot Place. So I said, let's just go buy an archery set. That's way cooler than some stupid trophy that sits on a shelf. He's like, yeah. I go, then we can use it to rob the kid who won the trophy. So I brought this guitar out. You know, one thing, I had to pull all my guitars. All the guitars are gone from there. I had to pull them all out. This whole corner was full of crap. I had to pull all that out. And, of course, a good, I don't know, 16, 18 inches of the pipe runs behind my electrical panel. It's like, just can't make it easy. So I had this out. I said, hey, well, I'll bring this one back out. People seem to think I get rid of all my guitars, but I haven't gotten rid of a guitar in years. I forgot about this one. Mahogany body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard. Pretty sweet. The 93, right? 3? Yeah, 93. S470. Sounds like the strings need to be replaced, though. Not really pulling out harmonics, and I can see a little whack in there on the strings. They definitely need to get replaced. But so yeah, you know, I got all my guitars over off camera right now. Oh, what a pain in the ass. And of course, I'm in the middle of this project in this back room over here, trying to get that all going, so just a colossal mess, you know. People always forget that it's like a 9 chord, right? Then the major. Am I in tune here? Or maybe a hair out. Let me call the tuner up here. Where are you, Tuna? Tuna. Let me bring this up. That's not bad. Oh, yeah, it's a hair flat. So how you doing? Yeah, see, my levels aren't quite there. Everything got all screwed up with this thing, but you know, the pipe's in. It's been going a good 2 weeks now with no leaks, and it actually sounds in tune. Better. I have this Reaper file up. I've been fooling around a little bit with that. What the hell is that called? A Day in the Life, right? Beck does a cover of it. And I've been sort of fooling around with it, but you know, it's hard to get all the little sections down. You'll probably lay a little bit on your hair. It seemed like a good place to stop it. There's a... yeah, major. Something like that. I'm working on it. It's not ready for prime time yet. So anyway, this is the you know, I'm not dead video. I'm still around. And you know, I'll keep the videos cranking out now that I got my rig back on again. It just took a while because I literally was like, just get everything the hell out of there so we can get behind there with a sawzall and get that thing out, get the pipe out. And of course I've got a bunch of, you know, you can't just dispose of that in my town. I can't just throw it out in the trash. They're like, oh, that's builder's waste. You know, get a dumpster. So you have to get, you know, contractor bags, 3 mil contractor bags, and make it small enough because they have a scale on the arm, the robotic arm that comes out and pulls it, and they have a camera in the back of the truck. So, you know, if you throw a monitor out there, they'll see it and they'll fine you for it. You know, an old leaded monitor, or, you know, anything that's basically considered hazardous waste. And they actually weigh it. One of my neighbors got in trouble because he was throwing all kinds of shit in there, and they were like, it weighs too much. We don't know what you're putting in there, but we're not going to go through it. And they flagged them because every trash bin is serial numbered. So they just take like a picture of the number. You know, it's a scam, I tells you. It used to be so simple. Just throw anything out on the curb and then come and pick it up. And now it's got to fit in a certain size container, and you better fit it all in that container because it costs like another $200 a year for another container. It's pretty crazy. So another thing I'm thinking about doing is, remember Steve Marchena? He's getting like a Zepp band together, but it's all acoustic, no electric instruments. And they're doing all the acoustic tunes, and it's going to be like 47 instruments or something. You know, it's some crazy. It's like the Zeppelin Acoustic Orchestra. So he asked me if I wanted to do something with it, and I think I might. You know, at least for a couple of tunes, pick out a couple of songs. He sent out a big long list in the keys that are going to be played in them. I have band scores for a lot of Zeppelin tunes, which is really great. They're not entirely accurate, but they're accurate enough. And they're really good because it breaks down every, you know, like if there's 4 guitars on it, rather than giving you like one guitar, it really does break down all 4 guitars. And it's close enough. They're pretty good. They're not bad at all. And of course, they're really good at breaking down the alternative tunings, which Page did a boatload of alternative tunings. A lot of people say, how do you play the Flintstones? It's all A major, 5-1, octave 6-5-1. It's all the major scale. If you know the major scale, the 3-4-3, 5-1, octave 6-5-1. You know. Other thing that came up, I'm freestyling. Roger Ebert died today. And it's like the end of an era. You know, I was pretty bummed when Siskel died. I mean, those two were the two when I was, you know, a teenager and in my 20s. I mean, those were the guys. Those two guys. They were it. So it was such a bummer. I actually met Roger. I have a book signed by him. I went to one of his... in fact, it was the weekend Titanic came out, and he did such a great job of just breaking down that movie. And he was sort of, I think, amused by how we all know the ending, and yet it was still a fairly compelling story. It was a great... I wouldn't want to call it a lecture, but basically, I wouldn't want to call it a seminar. I guess it was a lecture, like a, just talking about it. And there was some asshole in the crowd, like, going like, why did you give a thumbs up to Speed 2? It's like, it's like the original YouTube, troll douche. It's like, really? You came down to bust his balls about him giving a thumbs up to Speed 2? It's like, fuck off. And that's all he came there to do. He didn't really say anything else. And when I got my book signed, I was talking to Roger a little bit. It was right around the time DivX and DVD were both fighting for market share. And DivX, I thought, was a terrible form. It was basically... You could watch it once or like unlocked for about 48 hours, and it had to be plugged into a phone line that authorized your viewing of it because, they wanted it to be pay-per-view. And DVD was just slaughtering it because people wanted to buy the DVD and watch it as many times as they did. But the reality is people really did only watch it like once or twice, except for certain movies, like Predator. Get to the chopper! I swear I know almost every line in that movie. And so I remember saying, like, what do you think about DivX versus DVD? He goes, there is no contest. DVD wins. It's killing it. And the market is spoken, and DVD is going to emerge, and they're going to be it. And was it Fox and Sony were the holdouts, right? There was a couple of big holdouts. I want to say it was Sony, maybe Fox and Sony, that wouldn't come out on DVD. Paramount did, right? That was like one of the first ones to really come out on DVD and not DivX. And DivX had, I think, more movies when it first came out, but DVD just totally slaughtered it. Now, of course, DVD's dead. It's all, Netflix, video on demand. I mean, the whole, streaming has just absolutely killed it. I can't even. We have a family room in the attic, and we use a projector. And, it's a Dark Chip 3 DLP projector. I've had it a number of years now. Man, that thing is awesome. And it saves me from having to go into the movie theater. Because, God, I hate the friggin' movie theater. I used to be less sensitive about it, but Now just everything, I have to like sit in the last row because I can't stand some asshole sitting behind me, munching, crunching, talking, just shut up, you know. I remember I was seeing a movie. It might have been Star Wars, when they did the reboot, that awful, though the third one wasn't too bad, but 1 and 2 were just, especially 2, just god awful. And I think it was the first one, right? That was probably in, I want to say 1999, right? 97, 99, somewhere in there. 99, I think. They came out with Phantom Menace. And this dude was like on a cell phone in the theater to his other buddy who was in the theater. And they're like talking, oh man, did you see that? That was off the hook. It's like, no, dude, your fucking phone's off the hook, and that's the problem. It's like, are you shitting me? Really? Really? You know, I guess it was before texting, right? Before texting got hot. And people just like literally talking to each other in the goddamn theater. It's like, man, they're in your own little bubble. Your own little world. Anyway, this video is probably running 40 minutes now, so I should call it a night. And I'll see you real soon. Probably not until, what's today, Thursday? Yeah, probably not until Sunday or Monday. And then we're going on vacation the end of next week. So, it's going to get a little crazy again. But I'll talk to you real soon. Rock on, as always. And I'll be back in a little bit. I have some more special guests coming up. And I might even do a little one, go on a little trip to go see my friends over at one of my buddies at a musical distribution place, Harris Musical Products. And do a little tour of their warehouse and facility over there, which is pretty cool. They make these killer timber tone picks, which is awesome. All right, guys, rock on.